056, now called William O'Neill Walker. Is that you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Present with your attorney and the state's attorney. You were charged here with an indictment handed up on November 8th, 2023, charging you with the second-degree felony of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. What are we here for today?
Your Honor, I think it was initially set for an announcement. It's also, there's a writ that I filed, which I think we're having, I would assume the writ's been issued, and we're here on the relief request.
And Your Honor, previously in cause number 22-41124, that was the case that was dismissed earlier this morning because it was re-indicted as 23 DCCR 2056. But in that cause number, the court revoked the defendant's bond because he had been contacting the victim and numerous times violating the order of his conditions of bond. And the state would ask
bond earlier.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're saying.
The state would just ask that would, the court would also order that in 23 DCCR 2056, because I think it shows $100,000 bond on there, but that was just because it was re-indicted from the other cause number, which had a no bond on there.
So he presently has a $100,000 bond.
I thought it was originally $100,000, wasn't it?
On
They
the,
originally said back in 2022.
I believe so, Your Honor, then you put a no bond on the
22.
50. I think it was 50 originally is what he said. On the, and 22 on what?
When I first arrested,
What was the 22,000?
they wasn't so dealing with Dubai.
Yeah.
Right, that was 50,000.
50,000, yes, sir.
Was there another bond also?
No,
Just one $50,000?
right.
He made a $50,000 bond that was revoked, and then he was being held without bond.
And so he's been re-indicted and rearranged and it's set at 100,000 now.
Correct.
Well, we would be. I think the writ was filed at a time when there was no bond, and since then that case is dismissed, and I suppose now it's been re-indicted at the $100,000 bond. So actually, I don't have. Guess we wouldn't really be here on the writ if it's $100,000 bond. You make that, or make that should be able to post that.
Yeah, I can post it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we would just request that.
Well, you can't have any, if you make this bond, you can't have any contact with the victim,
That's understood.
or
Waiting for this.
things would happen that would be severe to you. Because we want to freeze the action until the case can work itself out.
Yes, sir.
And that means the action is not frozen if somebody tries to get in contact with parties.
in Your Honor, the state would just request that the no bond on the other be ordered on this one. The only thing that's changed was re-indicted and a different deadly weapon was alleged. We have the victim here, and again, she was contacted numerous times by the defendant while he was on bond on the other case, the 21.
What was the original bond?
50.
50.
50, and then
He revoked it and held him without bond.
He's going to be residing out of state, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, like I was at first.
And this case was also set for trial today as well, Your Honor.
And I request a speedy trial. So we're ready to try it whenever the court is.
We're ready to try.
Whenever the court is.
are y'all ready today?
Yes, sir.
I'm ready.
You're ready today?
Yes, sir.
Who did we send to drug impact?
We sent it to Pam and Mr. Franklin over to drug.
Your Honor, just to be clear, I think they're gonna be retrying a case with Buddy Reynolds and Chris Cadena over there in drug court. There's another
They
one
did
case.
have a case set, but they said in case that falls through to send one. And Mr. Ham and Mr. Franklin up there.
But they're gonna be trying that drug case, I'm pretty sure.
We can be ready next week again, Your Honor. Or whenever.
Well, do I have a trial docket next week too?
Mhm.
Do I? Okay.
Yes, sir. I haven't worked it up yet, but we do have.
Okay, so it was 50,000 originally. Now it's been
100,000 under the, as it was re-indicted, yes, sir.
okay. And where are you going to be resigning?
In Mississippi, where I'm from,
What's the address?
yeah, can't she?
What
Is it
city?
3024 Marion?
That's my home address, yes, sir.
Is that where you're going to be?
Yes, sir, that's where I'm.
Okay.
What county is it?
Hines.
Orange County, Mississippi.
Yeah.
If. Yeah. Somebody's shaking their, well, look, somebody's over there shaking their head. Why don't you talk to those people? What are they on? What's that all about?
That's just-
The victim, Your Honor, and again, just very concerned that if the defendant was allowed to be out, that again, the underlying nature of this case, he alleged to have rammed her vehicle off the road.
Yeah,
Got out and
it's
assaulted her.
scary,
She's very nervous about that, as well as the defendant. Now, the only offer is a pen time offer, and it's been that way. The state has concerns about him being a flight risk and not coming back from Mississippi, knowing that there is no probation offer on the case.
Well, we always have the GPS device. I suppose somebody can just cut that off and run if they were so inclined, but I don't think Mr. Walker's inclined.
We'll
He doesn't have any criminal.
put the lady on. If that's what you're asking to do, let's. This thing here now. Y'all have a seat.
They would call Miss Robbie Gilmore.
Come forward, please. And raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any statement you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, just have a seat right over there, please. Thank you. Why don't y'all turn the lectern, please? Thanks for just this hearing. Thank you. Go ahead.
Please state your name for the record. And Ms. Gilmore, are you familiar with the defendant, Mr. William Walker?
Yes, sir.
And how are you familiar with him?
Mr. Walker and
And previously, he's accused of, did he ram your vehicle off the road and then began to assault you?
Mr. Walker left. We were apart. He was in Mississippi. He watched my doorbell camera, saw me leave an outfit that was inappropriate in his opinion. Drove the 6 hours from Mississippi. Waited outside my apartment for me to be alone in the car. Well, let me rewind. At first, when I was at dinner with my friend, who was a lieutenant of police for this Beaumont Police Department, called and threatened him on the phone because I was going to have dinner with this man. Waited for me to return home from that. Approached my car with a brick, which he hit my car 2 or 3 times. I don't remember exactly. So what howled and loud that my children thought he had shot me in this parking lot. I backed out of my car. He got in his own car, followed me to the gas station where I was on the call with 911, trying to give them an address. He got out of the car, coming at me again. I got back in my car. Mr. Walker chased me from 105 and Major Drive all the way to behind Academy on like Concord or something, ramming my car from behind, from both sides, numerous times. I finally went through a fence into another side of a fence and into a tree when my car stopped. He then pulled me from that vehicle, took a board from the fence that I had gone through, and beat the living hell out of me until the police got there. He screamed at me the entire time, "Where's Andre now?" The man that I was at dinner with.
Hold on. Did you go to the hospital?
Yes, sir.
What injuries did you sustain?
I had a bowel obstruction. And, from hitting the steering wheel so many times, that's not correct. It's a bowel interception, to be medically correct, where when your intestine goes inside the other part, but essentially it doesn't work. And, I was physically, people gasped when they saw me for months after my face was,
Yeah.
my vision's worse.
Is there any photographs of her condition by any chance?
I have someone on the phone. Oh, my car, I don't know.
I don't have them printed out, Your Honor. Yes, there's several photographs with showing bruising and contusion all over her face, lots
are
of
they?
bruising. They're
Is jury out there? Ready? Tell them. We're in need.
I'm gonna be brief, Your Honor, I'm not.
Wow. Tell them we're having a hearing that needs to be disposed of and we'll be there as soon as possible. Please, Dennis, thank you. Did you say you have something on the phone? Can you just, somehow, let's, we got a time issue, so let's see what we can do about moving this along. You're showing me a,
This is, this picture,
okay, and what is, these are 4 photographs in a montage, right?
The approach, Your Honor?
And what is this?
that,
Well, what is this,
so that.
what is it showing?
The injuries. This
To
is-
you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From-
From Mr. Walker, from the attack, from him hitting me.
On October 31st of 2022.
May I see those?
Yeah. We can make somehow get a copy of that, please.
yes,
For the record. Call that State's Exhibit 1.
Yes, sir.
For this hearing.
This is my face
One at
before
the
there was
top.
an attack. Yes, sir, at the top. This, is a few days later after the attack.
Wait, which is on the right side,
On the-
middle right side of the
Yes,
image.
sir. These are both from a few days
When you
after.
say these,
Both pictures, the right and the left in the middle.
okay, and
Um,
at the bottom,
that's immediately after the attack at the hospital.
okay, and what's it again at the top?
That's just before, that's just a before picture.
Oh,
Yes,
But it looks
sir.
like there's something on your right eye, right?
Oh, it's a mole, I still have it right now.
Oh,
Yes,
oh,
sir,
okay.
it's just the way I was made. But
See, go forward, please.
and Ms. Gilmore, do you feel as though the defendant should be allowed a bond in this case?
No.
And why is that?
Mr. Walker contacted me.
When?
After the attack. And he was very well aware that he should not contact me. He never stopped contacting me. His own phone number, from text app phone numbers, the contacting me, the making
Was he
Facebook.
contacting you? Let's get it clear,
Uh,
because it's in a void here of time. Was he contacting you after this event and after the court ordered him not to?
Yes, sir. After the court ordered, I had a restraining order against him for one, an emergency protective order was put at the scene. He then, he made bond, and the condition of his bond, from what I understand, was that there was no contacting me at all. And,
That's a standard bond condition in this county.
he called me, he texted me, he videoed me. I have videos, I have Snapchat, I have, it ranged from loving me to hating me, to wanting to kill me, to wanting to marry me. You never know what version of William Walker you may encounter.
But wait, what did you read? Were those texts or did you say they're texts?
There are some, yeah.
Do you have a text where he, after he was placed on bond, not to have contact with you, threatening to kill you?
I do not have that.
I believe we entered last time, Your Honor, at the last hearing, we entered the list of phone calls. I know there were probably
It was 700.
over 100 that we entered as an exhibit.
Yeah, so I know there was an extraordinary amount, which the
I mean,
bewildering.
not only just the call, the driving by my ex-husband's house where my children live, having his family contact me, people I work with. I'm a
What are
lot
they,
of listeners.
what's being said to?
It ran, his father offered me money to drop these charges, which I didn't, the charges in the state. His girlfriends, numerous of them have called, text, made threats.
The girlfriends?
Yes, it's, I mean, following me, in a car. For one, Mr. Walker.
Wait, who's following you?
Mr. Walker. I mean, not now, he's been in jail since October, but previous to that. The context never, numerous times, Mr. Walker made, a Facebook profile of my entire nude body and put it out for the world to see. Just harassment to no end. I shower with a gun now, like that's my life. Even when he's in jail, I think he's smart enough to calling somebody and letting him out. He's a very charismatic person. He was supposed to reside in Jefferson County with the condition of his bond last time, and he never resided in Jefferson County. He enrolled in college in Mississippi, as a matter of fact.
Do you know that?
As far as I'm aware, Your Honor, yes, he went back to Mississippi, but
Did I order him to stay in Jefferson County?
I'm not certain on that.
I need to be alerted if from the state, they're aware of bond conditions because I'm not, bondsmen generally don't follow me. Go ahead. Where else you want to add?
Ms. Gilmore, do you believe that you would be in danger if the defendant was allowed out on bond?
Myself, my children, anybody that is affiliated with me. Yes, I absolutely believe that.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
The offense is alleged to have occurred back in October, is that right? The alleged offense?
The offense occurred October 31st, like the Friday from midnight.
2022.
2022. Right,
Yes, sir.
so over 2 years ago,
No, not 2 years.
No,
October
So only a year and a
22nd,
half.
year and a half, okay, year and a half. And so how long was he out on bond?
He went to jail in October of 23, so he was out for 1 year. That's 1 year of torture.
So he's out for a year. And during that year, how many occurrences did you have with him during that year?
If I did not speak to Mr. Walker, if I didn't ignore his calls, texts, it only got worse. There was not a day that the man, oh, that's it. There were a few days, about 3, maybe that he didn't contact me, but otherwise every day, call, text, Snapchats.
So you were aware when he was released from jail that there was an order prohibiting him from contacting you? And so who did you notify that he was contacting you?
The district attorney,
When?
the bond.
When did you notify the district attorney that there were improper
But did you
communications?
contact the area the bond person because those are different. Oh,
When did you notify the bond person or the district attorney's office?
Exact date, but
Well, how long after he was released from jail?
days.
Couple of days, then a week? And did you continue to notify them during that period?
Yes,
How often would you notify?
probably once a week until I just gave up.
Who did you contact at the district attorney's office? You left messages for Mr. Boyd weekly for how
Well,
long?
not weekly for Mr. Boyd, I'm talking about the bonds office.
Who at the district attorney's office did you contact, if anyone? How often did you contact Mr. Ward? How often would you say you contacted him? Every week for a year, or every other week, or every month, or how? I'm sorry,
I do not know. Several times I contacted them. I'm not sure.
what time period? Did you contact the DA's office?
Sir, I'm not sure.
Well, was it
But I know
in,
that I did contact them.
was it in November, December?
You're not sure?
I'm not sure.
Was it a week ago? I mean, when was it? When did
I
you?
said I'm not sure, so I'm still not sure. It doesn't matter how many times you ask.
Wait. Was it what is this? Was it recently? It's a week though.
That I've contacted him
The
right
DAs?
now?
Yes, ma'am.
No, sir, I haven't. I mean, I contacted them last week to see if we were still set for trial this.
When did you go to Mississippi to visit Mr. Walker?
I don't remember exact dates, but I have nothing to lie about. So yes, I did go to Mississippi to visit Mr.
The
Walker.
question was when.
But
do you
sometime
remember-
after.
Do you remember what month it was? Was it summertime or wintertime? Was it hot or cold? Let's start with that. Did you wear a jacket?
Do you know? Do you know? Okay, she
You
didn't.
don't know which month it
What,
was?
was it after he was charged with this
Yes,
event?
sir.
Okay. Go ahead.
Which month?
Do you know?
I don't know.
She doesn't know. Move along.
Well, I think it's relevant, Your Honor.
She doesn't know. It was,
It was
I got
after
a
the
trial.
contact order that
I've got-
I got.
Hold on, everybody. I've got
What was,
60 people waiting outside to pick a jury. Let's move this along. Her answer is consistent. She doesn't remember. We can sit here to the end of time. She doesn't remember is her answer in the record. Ask your next question.
were you forced to go there?
Was there a gun to my head? No, but did this man threaten to kill my children if I didn't comply with him? Yes. And do I believe him? Yes.
So your
Yes.
testimony is you went to Mississippi to visit Mr. Boyd because he was threatening to kill your children?
Well, no, I said I went to visit Mr. Walker. Mr. Boyd doesn't reside.
I'm sorry, Mr. Walker. Right?
That is what I said, yes.
She's listening to the question.
Did he force you to do that? Or was it voluntary?
Do you have children?
I'm sorry, I'm
just
not being
answer,
questioned,
ma'am,
ma'am.
not rhetorical. Answer the question, yes or no, or give an answer.
I will go.
Don't ask it
Sir,
with
I
a,
apologize.
don't answer with a question. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Physically, he did not force me, but he had already nearly murdered me for not answering, for simply not complying with his phone calls, his demand. The man is insane.
So
So
you're,
when he tells me he will murder the people that I grew in my body, I believe him with everything I ever of my being, and I would have done anything that he asked me to do as long as he's out of jail.
so he
At
threat,
that time, I still reported the things that he was doing and asked the people that are supposed to help me to help him.
so you told the police that he had threatened to kill your children and you were going to Mississippi? You notified the authorities about it?
I notified them that he called me repeatedly. He never called.
Yeah, let's make a question if you would. When you're testifying that he threatened your children to kill your children and that's why he went to Mississippi, did you notify the authorities before you went to Mississippi that he threatened to kill your children? How long were you in Mississippi with him?
A day.
One day and then you came back? I'm sorry?
Not very long, enough time to drive there and drive back. So,
Did you have relations with him?
yes,
Did you have sex with him?
yes, I did.
So you were so terrified that he made you have sex with him? Is that why, was it a sexual assault? Did he sexually assault you in Mississippi? Or was it consensual?
Out of fear, it was out of fear. So you can define abuse how you will.
So the only reason you had sex with him is he put you in fear for your safety and your life in Mississippi?
There's no. I can't explain. to
Ma'am,
you
it's
that
a simple question, yes or no? I'm asking you, did you have sex with him? Because,
Sex with that man.
let me
yes, I
finish
did.
my question.
Hold on, don't shout.
Did you
at
have
that
sex
lady.
with him?
Hold on.
She's not being
Yeah,
responsible.
I know, but where does it say you can shout at a witness? Be professional if others aren't. Thank you.
You had consensual sex with him, or did he force you to have sex because you were afraid of him out of fear?
it was forced out of fear.
Okay,
Everything I did out
okay.
of it, I
So-
tried out of fear for myself or for my children.
So he sexually assaulted you in Mississippi. Did you report that to the authorities in Mississippi that you were sexually assaulted by the defendant?
No,
I passed it, Richard.
Anything else?
Just
Go ahead.
Ms. Gilmore, you had contacted our office about, the defendant trying to contact you, is that correct? At that time, were you able to show that was actually from his phone number?
no, and until about a month before he was arrested, so it was in September of 2023. Mr. Walker used an app, he's intelligent, and he did not use his own phone number, so I didn't have any proof that it was him because it was not traceable.
And did I advise you that we'd need some kind of proof that it actually went back to the defendant from his phone number?
Yes, sir.
And were you ultimately able to provide me with some phone records showing that him calling from that number, sending messages, and ended up sending a video of you nude to was it your ex-husband?
My-
Okay. And also at the last hearing, you went to Mississippi with the defendant after he had the no contact order, is that correct? Did you advise that if you didn't go, he would continue contacting you, like you were able to show the approximately 100 plus times that he had?
762 times that he called me. 700.
I passed away.
Very funny.
Fine. Anything
No,
else
no.
in this league? Okay, you may be seated. What else?
Nothing further from the state.
What's everybody, what are you asking?
Your Honor, my understanding, I guess since this was a written item, this has an extra,
This thing's
it actually is a
bounced around.
red hearing, it's the state
Okay.
attempting to have
I'm
a
trying to
bond.
figure out the bond is the bounce from 100 to no bond to what is it now?
100, when he was re-indicted, evidently.
Or 50? It was 50,
No
then no
bond.
bond, then 100, right?
When he was rearranged, it was probably set, the magistrate at the jail said it. So that's where we are. So this isn't actually a writ, this is them moving to pull the bond that was set on the re-indicted case. I guess it's their motion.
Yes. What, any arguments?
Your Honor, the state just believes the interest of the safety of the victim. We would ask that, again, the defendant be continued with a no bond, and we're ready to try this case. If you want to set it next week, we're ready to go, Your Honor.
I would just say, I think to be continued, if we continued at $100,000 bond, I mean, it seems what the state is asking that bond be terminated and go back to a no bond status, since he does have a $100,000 bond now. We would just request the court to leave that in place. And with the additional admonishments of the no contact, perhaps the GPS monitor. And then we're ready for trial, whenever the court wants to set it. Obviously, I think the court might infer, from this hearing that we think that we have a decent case, at least for probation perhaps from the jury. It is a 10-year cap, which he's refused. And obviously he is eligible, he's not a convicted felon, so we're eligible for the jury to consider probation, recommend probation on the case. And that's what we're in.
Would you say it was a 10-year cap? What was?
That's the plea offer, it's a 10-year cap, which he's refused, but
Oh,
I will be asking the jury to recommend probation. I would go to the jury for punishment, because he is eligible for jury probation.
What bothers us for is after the defendant was placed on a bond with the conditions of bond, which are normal and customary, and also are placed on the or in the website and are the general rules that all defendants must adhere to. And one of those is do not contact the victim. And according to the evidence, 762 calls is ridiculous. I mean, that is very questionable on stability of mind. I've lived my whole life and I use the phone, and I've never called anybody 762 times. I don't think, maybe my wife over the length of our marriage, if you add all that up. Yeah. but not in a short period of time over this. This is, and this, the facts of this case are, let's see, ramming, this is all found, this is all occurring, what, at midnight or so? So when everybody ought to be at home, they're out, somebody's out ramming vehicles. And the defendant. And let's see. After the wreck, according to the probable cause affidavit here in the file, this case, after the wreck, the defendant took the complainant's phone through it while she was attempting to speak with 911 dispatch, then proceeded to strike her several times in and about her face and head area. And she's shown the court severe bruises of her face that she says occurred because of the defendant's strikes. And so he's using, he's indicted here for the second-degree felony of aggravated assault by ramming a vehicle with his vehicle. So we're using a 4,000-pound missile as a weapon, which caused the vehicle of the victim to careen off the road, strike a fence. And according to the grand jury, in a manner of its use and intended use was capable of causing serious bodily injury or death in the commission of the assault. This is just like something right out of a movie of sorts. I mean, it's bizarre behavior. And so the defendant is on bond, then the bond becomes no bond after information comes about of the defendant harassing the victim while on bond. Is that a fair statement? Okay. All right. Here's what the court's going to do. Oh, okay. And so why is there $100,000 now? That's current bond. I thought there was a bond that was 100,000 that then was revoked on, that there was no bond on the new case.
I believe it was $50,000, Your Honor, the bond on 22-41124, and that was.
Who said the bond at 100,000? Me?
On,
Or another
I think the magistrate did on that 20, that was the re-indicted case.
with a new, okay. Well, the court again uses the public safety report that the court has in the file here, and it's made a part of the record, which shows that the defendant, I don't see a criminal history, do you?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, that's a point for him, but you go right into the criminal world with a big bang here in what's happening over this bizarre activity over romantic relations. I mean, go figure. That's really, if you look at the definition of romance, it's not, threatening behavior, ramming vehicles, punching girls, and calling them 762 times. Romance just doesn't fit that definition at all. That's bizarre behavior. And so it's $100,000 now, and the situation is you got to pay a price for committing violations while on bond, and your bond. I mean, you were ordered on a bond, the same conditions or on a general bond, I would add conditions of bond, but is it $100,000? Is that the final amount? Is that what the bond is right now?
Yes, Your Honor, on this.
Does the magistrate set that?
Yes, sir.
On the new indictment.
Well, did the magistrate have a hearing with this evidence? I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
Your bond is $150,000. And you have you shall have no contact with the victim. And I want this is you're in Jackson, you're gonna live in Jackson, Mississippi. I don't want you in the same state. I don't want, I don't, it says Jackson, Mississippi, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't want you in the same state with the victim. You're living in Texas, ma'am? Yeah, I don't want you coming into Texas until you come into court.
Other than a court date.
Yes, sir. That's all I'm.
No contact
Yes,
with
sir.
her. I want you to the GPS device, so I know where you are.
Yes,
Your
sir.
phone, I want to be able to search your phone at any time. Bring your phone in and I want to be able to search to see if you attempt to make any phone calls.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
I know you could make some phone calls on somebody else's phone, but if she is harassed, you're the lead suspect. I don't care what the situation is. From what I know now, your bizarre behavior while on bond causes you to be the center of my attention now, which is what you don't want. So you're on hyper alert with me and
But Your Honor, if I might, since he's coming from out of state, would it be a day before court and a day after court to be in Texas?
it just
Or
comes,
or just
no,
one day?
no, he comes in on the day of the hearing.
Okay.
And this is Beaumont, which is 30 miles from the border. And
Okay.
he can live in Louisiana,
Louisiana.
yeah, overnight, if that's what it has to take.
You understand?
But I don't want him in this state except for this hearing. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You got to stay on.
All right, and if everybody's ready, let's move this trial so we can get this thing tried in like a month,
Yes, sir.
okay? Not a year, not 6 months, a month.
I'm
Everybody
ready.
get ready.
Ready.
All right,
I filed a request for a speedy trial.
okay, you got it. Thank
All
you.
right, that's all.
Okay, so John, you,
Yes, sir.
any John's file or anything else?